That last one was 4K at 60 frames per second. And I see now that and it was, gosh, a lot easier just to do it on the phone. But the last step was uploading it. And that video, I can't remember the length now, but it was probably about 3 minutes long. And at 4K and 60 frames per second, it's about a 2 gigabyte video. And so it's going to take about a half hour to upload to YouTube. It just took about 5 minutes or so to render it, which wasn't bad at all. So that puts me, I think, just considering, what I do. I mean, every once in a while, if there's something I want to film that lends itself to 4K or 4K lends itself to it, then I'll shoot in 4K. But I think most of my everyday or every week videos will be 1080p, 30 frames per second. So this one is, what I'm shooting right now is 1080p, 30 frames per second, and I'll get up to about a minute and a half, and there it goes, loaded up. All right, the last video, the 4K 60 frames per second, was 40 minutes to upload a 2 gigabyte file that was only, I still don't remember, a 3 minute long video. So that, if I do that, it's going to be uploading overnight, I think. It does, there's 3 waiting periods. The first one was converting, when the app, the YouCut app, is doing whatever it does to your file so it can edit it. So I can edit it. And then there's the upload waiting, which was the 40 minutes I just mentioned. The converting I mentioned before wasn't that bad. And then there's the processing that YouTube does online, but that starts as soon as it's finished uploading. So again, it's part of an overnight process when I choose to shoot in 4K. Now, I'm going to see how long it takes to upload this 1080p 30 frames per second video, and I'll put it in the description or comments below. I'm uploading on 10 megabits per second service over Wi-Fi at the house. All right, let's see how that goes. All right, well, I really don't want to do a deep dive into video editing. I want to know the basic skill set for just producing relatively elegant videos. So anyway, it converts when you go to upload. First you edit, then there's a converting process, an uploading process, and then a processing process, which is done on the YouTube website. So, hold on. Well, long story short, I think I'm just going to do everything on the smartphone because it saves a lot of time. But I still have to get the MacBook Air and see what it's like to transfer files by cable from my smartphone to the MacBook Air. Because the Pixelbook Go Chromebook was an absolute dud for getting files off my Pixel 6 Pro. And for editing videos anyway, it was an absolute dud. I suppose, I'm still not sure if the Adobe Premiere video editing software, if that's done wholly on the Adobe servers, then, well, again, it's uploading and moving here and moving there. So anyway, but that's a $30 a month also subscription. So I'm going to do it all on my smartphone. I'm going to do it all in 1080p at 30 frames per second. And then every once in a while, when I want to do a nice, nature video, I'll do 4K at 60 frames per second. And then if the MacBook Air thing works out, great. I'll transfer the files there and just make it a little bit easier for clipping and merging clips and or splicing clips and then cutting portions out, or laying over voice or text, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But otherwise, this InShot YouCut app is great time saver. And one last note: in the InShot YouCut app, they ask you, even after you shot the video, apparently you can adjust some things. But the third thing, besides the 1080p or 4K and the frames per second, is quality. They got low, medium, and high, and I just leave it on high. I don't see any reason to knock the legs out from under it at that point in the process.